Watching Channel 8 WMTW, Maine's total weather news coverage starts right now.
Right now we're taking a live look at the radar with that snow coming in and the scene from Kittery to Portland as this nor'easter spreads across Maine. We have total coverage for you. It is coming right up from all across Maine. Well, right now it is 11 o'clock and good morning. I'm Christina Frank.
Good morning, everybody. I'm David Charnes. Right now we are under a total weather alert. Maine's total meteorologist Ted McInerney's been keeping an eye on this storm. Ted, it is getting dicey out there. Our blizzard warning now in effect at 11.
Yeah, we already have visibilities down to a quarter mile. That heavy snow band that just came on shore about 45 minutes to an hour ago. That's dumping 1 to 3 inches of snow an hour. So we got the snow now. It's a little bit light and fluffy, so it's able to blow around. We already had the wind as you were watching us this morning with Tyler Carteret down in Kittery blowing around that snow. So here's the nor'easter. The system has strengthened to the point that it has some very high winds with it, especially here in Maine and in Massachusetts. Here's a look at our total storm tracker. This dark blue band right here, this is where the heavy snow is, and it's pushing into interior York County at this hour. That's where we're seeing 1 to 3 inches an hour. So there it is, a close view from the turnpike from Kittery up through Wells and Biddeford-Saco. Heavy snow back into Sanford and pushing into the Lakes region. Heavy snow in Portland pushing through North Deering into Westbrook and Gorham out to Hollis as well as into the Windham area. That's headed towards Standish as well as to the Sebago Lake area. We're looking at some heavy snow up in Yarmouth as well as Brunswick, but moderate snow in Augusta, Lewiston, Auburn, and Litchfield and Turner at this hour. There's a look at the Brunswick, Freeport area, pushing into Durham and New Gloucester and Gray. Very heavy snow coming your way. Up in the Waterville and Skowhegan area, pushing into Farmington, you have moderate snow now. Blizzard warning now in effect until 2 a.m. for the entire Maine and New Hampshire coastline. For everyone else, it's a winter storm warning, which is just as dangerous with whiteouts possible with that as well. Heavy snow is likely. Visibilities are down to a quarter mile already. For a blizzard to officially happen, we need 3 consecutive hours of a quarter mile visibility of wind gusts over 35 miles an hour. We're not quite there on the wind, but we're getting there. 33 miles an hour in Portland from the north, sustained at 18. Still breezy inland, but it's really the coastline seeing the high winds. I'm forecasting 12 to 18 inches of heavy snow, 9 to 14 inches to the north, and I don't rule out the possibility that we could see a 20-inch reading when all is said and done. Hour by hour, the heavy snow bands are the ones that are going to bring in the 1 to 3 inches an hour, and the white out conditions with these. And again, the whiteout conditions are what can potentially put together a blizzard in 3 consecutive hours. All right, let's go out to Paul Merrill. We were watching his Facebook Live just a little while ago, and he was on his way up to Brunswick. How are things up there, Paul?
Yeah, Ted, we're here in Brunswick now, and it's coming down at a pretty good clip. We're here along Pleasant Street, and let me tell you, the driving conditions are not very pleasant. You can take a look out here. Now, this main drag here, you can see it's sanded, it's down to the pavement, things are in okay shape, but the side street we're on, this is actually the intersection of Pleasant and Webster. The side street here, not touched by a plow. Driving up here, it was slow going. The visibility was not good. At a certain point, we only had really 1 lane of paved road on 295 and 95. And just from the maybe 20 minutes or so that we've been parked here, that's how much is accumulated. It's coming down pretty fast, and it's wet stuff. It's wet, good snowball snow stuff. But things are worsening. If you are out on the road or plan to go out, you may want to rethink that or at least get home. We're going to send it now down to Tyler Carteret. He's down at the other end of the state, Kittery. Tyler, take it away.
Hey there, Paul. That's right. We are at the other end of the state, but actually seeing very similar conditions, it sounds like, down here in Kittery. That heavy snow coming down. Also, winds very gusty right from the start this morning. They continue to whip that snow around. You can see it really limiting visibility here along Route 1. We are right by the outlets, typically a fairly busy traffic area today. Not seeing a lot of that traffic. A lot of folks are heeding the warnings. Of course, that blizzard warning going into effect just a few minutes ago. You can see here when that wind picks up, it is definitely, there goes the hood. It is definitely pretty strong. Now, I'll come over here just to give you guys an idea. This is the first time we're doing this morning, breaking out the ruler for the snow measurement. It's a little uneven right in this particular area, but coming in right around 2.5, 3 inches, which when you put that together, we've been seeing steady snow here for about 3 hours. So you factor that all out, about 1 inch an hour here in the Kittery area. And we have those heavier bands still moving in here through the afternoon. So you can imagine that by the end of this storm system being such a prolonged event, This isn't going to do it justice when it comes to measurements. Probably going to need to break out the yardstick when it's all said and done. That's a look at things currently in the Kittery area. We'll send things up to Portland now. Kathleen Jordan standing by up there with a check on conditions. Hey, Kathleen.
Yeah, hi, Tyler. Wow, what a difference. Just within the past 2 hours, the snow really started to come down at 9, and here we are at 11. Visibility, an issue. Those roads, very, very slick. And this stuff is accumulating pretty fast. I want to show you. We saw the pavement earlier this morning already. Look what we've got. We've got this stuff. It is pretty light and fluffy, but once it hits the pavement, this is pretty heavy. So going on the roads, we have seen people slowly heeding the warnings. There are still some people driving out here along Commercial Street. We've seen some people sliding in these slick conditions, and again, it's only going to get worse. The other thing, the visibility, the winds certainly whipping here as well. So if you are out and about, it is going to be hard to see in front of you. But again, people are moving. Hopefully they are making their way somewhere safe, because conditions are only going to get worse out here. Dealing with how thick this snow is falling, how quickly this is falling and sticking to the roads, and the visibility issue. That is going to be something that we're watching throughout the day. So as conditions continue to get worse here in Portland, we'll keep you updated. For now, I'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kathleen Jordan, thank you. Maine State Police asking Mainers to take it slow on the road as these blizzard conditions move on in. Police already telling us they've responded to several slide-offs, including 2 tractor trailers that slid off the Maine Turnpike this morning. Police say people just going too fast in these conditions. Luckily, no injuries reported this morning.
And right now we're checking in with WMTW News 8's Jim Keithley. He tweeted earlier that he saw a slide off just as he was leaving here. He's been riding around the state this morning. Hey, Jim, how's it looking out there right now?
Well, good morning. Yes, we saw a car right off the Skyway Drive when we got onto the Turnpike. We are now southbound in the Kennebunk area. I'll turn it around. This is where that tractor trailer was off that the state police had sent a picture to us. We may or may not see it, I'm not sure, but we're heading up to the Kennebunk rest area, probably within a mile or 2 from where we are. So again, you can see the road conditions. I mean, the middle lane, we're in the middle lane. It was bare when we got on in Portland by the mall area, and now we're just, 10 miles south, and this is what you see here. Again, as you can imagine, not too much traffic, which is good, I suppose. And the Maine Turnpike obviously reducing speeds to 45 miles an hour, the entire stretch from Kittery to Augusta. So that's the road conditions at the moment. We'll be checking in throughout the day. We'll send it back up to the desk.
And Jim, are you seeing any crews out there right now? A lot of them out, or pretty light out there?
Really, the roads are quite quiet. I don't think we've seen any plow trucks or anything. Again, we're just getting to the Biddeford area. I thought we were farther down, but nope. I mean, as you can see over here, there's just a few cars coming and going, but otherwise pretty much quiet on the Maine Turnpike, which is a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. People heeding that warning to stay off the roads. All right, Jim, we'll check in with you in just a little bit. And as the nor'easter hits the East Coast, no surprise here, hundreds of flights either delayed or canceled. At the Portland Jetport, every single flight out today is canceled. Ticket counters also closed today. Jetport officials say they plan to release more information on operations for tomorrow in just about an hour. For now, officials say passengers, they can reschedule their flights at home.
All of our airlines have issued travel advisories allowing passengers to change their reservations without the change fees. And so we do recommend reaching out to your airline before coming out to the Jetport, and if your flight is canceled, to reaccommodate from home as opposed to coming out to the Jetport.
Save yourself the trip. Well, for those flying out of Logan, the same pretty much applies there too. Nearly every flight delayed or canceled.
And if you're trying to get somewhere by bus or train today, it's going to be a little difficult. Concord Coach Lines canceling all service from Maine through Boston. Officials hoping to get everything on track by tomorrow. And Portland Metro suspended service this morning at 10. Amtrak Downeaster operating a modified schedule today. Most trains this afternoon and evening are canceled.
And a heads up for Portland residents, you're fine to stay inside nice and warm right now, but don't forget to get out later and move your car. The city issuing a parking ban from 10 tonight until 6 tomorrow morning. City officials say the sooner you can move your car, the better. You can find a list of open lots on WMTW.com. And a reminder that those cars must be gone from most of those lots by 6:30 in the morning tomorrow.
And taking a look at the storm across the Northeast, the nor'easter hammering down on the coast of Massachusetts. We're taking a look at Plymouth County this morning, where you can see wind whipping those boats there on the water and snow blowing right through the air. Right now, blizzard warnings are in effect along the Massachusetts coast. For people on the South Shore, this is their third major storm this month. Some people in the Quincy area choosing to stay in hotels after being flooded out of their homes twice since January.
And in New Hampshire, today's snow, it comes as officials are still trying to repair damage after the last two storms. Taking care of the seawall is a major priority right now for the seacoast, with parts getting beaten up by both the winter weather and people removing rocks. Rye officials say the rocks are needed to protect those roads. Right now, hundreds of schools and businesses are closed across our area. You can get the full list. It's all right inside the WMTW News 8 app. You can even search for your school. The app is free inside the Apple and Google Play stores.
This storm is just getting started, and so are we with our total coverage. Important tips you need to know if you plan to get behind the wheel today, or if you need to get behind the wheel, because police are reminding people stay home at this point. We'll talk with the spokesman for the Maine Department of Transportation when we come back in just 2 minutes.
Here's meteorologist Ted McInerney, bringing you Maine's total weather and your exclusive 8-day forecast.
All right, everyone, we're looking at near blizzard conditions right now. We're under a blizzard warning on our total weather alert. The car's going too fast. You need to take it slow. The visibilities are going down. Roads are getting slippery, and only more heavy snow and high winds are on the way. This is live in Kittery this morning. Take it slow on the road and only go out if you really need to. I'm pretty amazed by how fast those guys are going. All right, here's a look at our total storm tracker. Heavy snow pushing inland now. We only had light snow earlier. Look at this snow band. It was bad over the Gulf of Maine. Now it's ramped up again. Now it's moved on shore in interior Cumberland and York County. That heavy snow is tracking into the Lewiston-Auburn area and even into Augusta. It goes from pretty much Vassalboro all the way down to the New Hampshire line. But don't worry, the backup right behind it, the second string on this one, is just as good as the first string. The next snow band is moving in right behind it. That's why this is a major storm, because these bands of heavy snow will continue to come in off the Gulf of Maine from this nor'easter. And because the winds around it are coming in from the north at 30 to 40 miles an hour, we're nearing blizzard criteria. And visibility, we need winds 35 miles an hour or greater for 3 consecutive hours, with visibilities under a quarter mile for 3 consecutive hours for that snow to count it as a blizzard. But it doesn't matter if you're stuck in a whiteout for 20 minutes. What difference does it make? We're looking at a quarter mile already up and down the Maine Turnpike, 3/4 of a mile in Wiscasset, down right now in York County. Heavy snow in Sanford, pushing up to the north of Sanford as well. Cape Nettic, there was some wind damage earlier from the storm. We're looking at heavy snow in Portland, North Deering into Falmouth, heading back into the Casco Bay Islands out to Long Island and Peaks Island right now. Very heavy snow in South Portland, Westbrook, Gorham, heading up toward Windham, Hollis, and Standish as well. Heavy snow pushing through Bowdoin, pushing into the Litchfield area, and eventually here in the next 20 minutes or so into the Augusta area. Light to moderate snow from Livermore, Turner down to Oxford, and Norway and Paris as well. Brunswick, you've been in on a heavy snow band. You're kind of winding down, but don't worry, that next one is coming your way, or I would worry. That's why you don't want to get out on the roads. From Newport down to Waterville, Winthrop, Skowhegan, Athens, out to Farmington, some moderate snow at this hour. The winds combined with this all are coming in from the north. Winds gusting up to 52 miles an hour at the Isle of Shoals, 43 miles an hour here in Casco Bay, and 33 at the Portland Jetport. Very breezy inland. You are still going to have some whiteout conditions as well. Look at the tide coming in here at Higgins Beach in Scarborough. Very low visibility in Scarborough coming in off the ocean. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s right now, with snow falling pretty much everywhere. Coastal reports 52 mile an hour winds again at the Isle of Shoals and 54 at Matiticus Rock right now. Blizzard warning goes till 2 a.m. for the entire Maine coastline. Winter storm warning goes until 8 a.m. tomorrow. 12 to 18 inches of snow. 9 to 14 really on that higher end, I think, for the mountains as well, because you're seeing those pretty high snow totals already. 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, potentially up and down the coastline. There is one area, the Rockland area, out toward Penobscot Bay. maybe even up to 60 miles an hour. So power outages a possibility. We start to wind down the wind late tonight. Tomorrow morning it will still be snowing. We won't be having a blizzard though. Things will start to calm down, but still slick travel. Hour by hour, again, we had that snow move in, and 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, look at that. We have heavy snow. The bands continue to move into the area as we move into tomorrow morning. It's still snowing. By mid-morning, I think it lightens up, and then we have scattered snow for the daytime tomorrow. So that's a look at that. Let's take a look at our snow and rain chances. Pretty much it's going to be snowing everywhere. Here's a look at our exclusive 8-day total weather alert today into tomorrow morning. Light snow will continue through the afternoon. Some flurries and clouds on Thursday. We get light and sunshine on Friday. St. Patrick's Day cold, but at least it will be sunny. And at least we have spring a week from today. But again, this is a real serious situation. These heavy snow bands are producing 1 to 3 inches an hour. Visibility is reduced. If you're in your car, the case in point, you may not be able to see if a tree has come down because of visibility.
You may just not be able to travel. I mean, this is not just a snowstorm. This is a blizzard at this point.
With the snow drifts that could bury your car.
And what was even, you said it, kind of hit the nail on the head. You called this storm a beast, because that's what it is. So definitely, heed all the warnings, stay off the roads if possible.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Ted, thank you. From one Ted to another. Right now, we're going to talk with Ted Talbot with the Maine Department of Transportation. He joins us on the phone on this snowy morning. Ted, how is it going out there? How are the crews doing?
Well, we're doing fine. It is, as you can imagine, challenging, to say the least. When you have the reduced visibility and the high snowfall rate, we often talk when a snowplow heads out to do a route, it's about an hour before that plow gets back to where it started. Well, when you have 1, 2, perhaps more inches per hour, you're going to have snow on the roadway. That's one of the big reasons we ask folks, if you don't have to be on the road, please don't do so. We need room. The municipal plows need room. We all really need to try to keep ahead of the storm as best as we possibly can.
And Ted, how do you plan for these kinds of days when we just have basically 24 hours? The snow started this morning at about 3 this morning in very, very southern Maine. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to still have some snow falling. So how do you plan for these long-term events where it goes more than 24 hours?
We really have, we're still in winter mode. We get into winter mode in November and come out of it in early spring. So that means our materials are ready, our equipment is ready, any repairs that needed to be done are ready for this storm. Personnel are ready. We have crew meetings and so forth to go over all of this on the day prior to a big storm like this hitting. So we really are prepared, but it doesn't mean it's not challenging. And trying to keep ahead of this and trying to keep the roads as clear as we can, certainly for first responders and those that have to be on the road. But again, we'll encourage folks, if you don't have to, please restrict your travel at the very least.
And Ted, it's another Ted, good name there, right? Just describe to us, when there is a blizzard and you're on the road, how dangerous and quickly the conditions can change.
Well, you can easily, and we've all done this, you could easily be traveling down the highway or any road potentially and be okay with visibility, be okay with the snowfall amounts on the road. But boy, you hit one of those snow bands, and Ted, you talked about those snow bands coming in. Visibility then goes to near zero or absolutely zero, and driving conditions become very treacherous, dangerous really. So the unpredictability of that is certainly something to watch for. But again, if everyone can do their best to restrict travel, that's our advice today.
That is the best bet. All right, Ted Talbot with the Maine Department of Transportation. Thank you for joining us today. We'll probably check in with you throughout the day.
All right, we're following some other news for you this morning, and breaking news we first told you about inside the WMTW app. President Trump firing Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Tillerson will be replaced by Mike Pompeo. He's currently the director of the CIA. In a tweet this morning, the president thanked Tillerson for his service, and now Congresswoman Shelley Pingree is calling the president's move, quote, disappointing. President Trump speaking about the decision on the White House lawn this morning.
Rex and I have been talking about this for a long time. We got along actually quite well, but we disagreed on things. When you look at the Iran deal, I think it's terrible. I guess he thought it was okay. I wanted to either break it or do something, and he felt a little bit differently. So we were not really thinking the same. With Mike Pompeo, we have a very similar thought process.
President also announcing he will nominate Gina Haspel to take over the CIA from Mike Pompeo. She would become the first woman to hold that position.
In Commitment 2018, the polls are open as Pennsylvania voters look to fill a seat in the U.S. House. Republican Rick Saccone is going up against Democrat Connor Lamb in Pennsylvania's 18th district. This is an area President Trump won by 20 points in 2016. The special election was called after Republican Tim Murphy resigned amid a sex scandal. In Scarborough, high school staff voting to express no confidence in the superintendent following its principal resignation controversy. It comes as debate heats up over school start times. The school board is considering a plan that lets older students start later in the day and younger students start earlier. Some parents say the later start time is good for the health of older students. Others are worried about whether young kids can handle a longer day.
If you truly represent us, please maintain the current schedule.
We are always listening. We just might not always be able to make decisions that are going to please the masses.
Superintendent says the decision about whether the district will move forward with the compromised start times could be made as early as their next full meeting. That's set for April 5th.
Neighbors in Waterville, Winslow, and Vassalboro voting today on whether to dissolve their school district. A referendum asks if AOS 92 should be split into 3 separate school systems. The schools were forced to consolidate in 2009 after the state threatened to fine schools with fewer than 2,500 students. Superintendent there says the district needs to split up because staff members are burning out under their current workload.
City officials in South Portland are reviewing dozens of pages of signatures to certify a petition that would get rid of new regulations on short-term rentals like Airbnb. Last month, the City Council passed 2 ordinances banning non-hosted stays or when the owner isn't home in residential neighborhoods. If the petition has enough signatures, either the City Council will repeal the ordinances or they will be submitted to referendum. We'll talk about warmer thoughts, talking about a nor'easter, but check this out. If you want to get a sight of spring, just go here. We'll tell you where. It's coming up in 2 minutes.
All right, we're taking a look right now at our total storm tracker, and yes, you are seeing the pressure outside. This is the nor'easter, and it has strengthened quite a bit. It is south of Martha's Vineyard, and it is strengthening, moving its way toward the Gulf of Maine, and around it is coming that moisture, and also the winds will start to pick up as it gets closer. Winds right now at 33 miles per hour at the Portland Jetport in the last hour. We need it to be 35 or greater for 3 consecutive hours for it to be a blizzard. You'll hear that quite a bit. Here's a look at our total storm tracker. This heavy snow band continues to intensify even since the last time I showed it to you just about 10 minutes ago. Now headed toward Bridgeton and the Lakes region. Interior Cumberland and York counties, as well as Sagadahoc and into Androscoggin and Kennebec counties, you're all in on this heavy snow. You can see it Sanford up toward Wakefield. Parsonsfield, you're in on that as well. Portland, we just finished with that very heavy snow band, but it's still kind of snowing very heavily in North Deering, heading up toward Falmouth and getting back into Westbrook as well, very heavy snow. Windham, you're in on that very heavy snow. Gorham, Hollis, Leamington, Waterboro, heading up into Sebago and Standish as well. Lewiston, Auburn, you guys are next on this. You're going to see that heavy snow band moving in your direction, also into Turner, into Livermore, Paris, as well as Oxford in the next 20-25 minutes. Heavy snow headed in your direction. Freeport, Yarmouth, Cumberland Center, very heavy snow coming down right now, as well as Durham and Lisbon at this hour. Heading back toward Waterville. Get ready for this very heavy snow band moving in the next 20 minutes or so as it moves off to the north toward Newport. Skowhegan, you just had a moderate snow band, but you're going to get a very heavy snow band in the next 30 to 40 minutes. Blizzard warning in effect now till 2 a.m. Winter storm warning in effect until 8 a.m. I'll be tracking much more of the storm coming up in just a little bit.
All right, well, even with today's weather, believe it or not, there are some signs of spring here in Maine.
You have to check this out. In Falmouth, things are green and lush inside of Skillen's greenhouse on Forsyth Road. All kinds of plants and fragrant flowers that you see right here. Owners say just stopping into the warm greenhouse can boost the spirits of people just fed up with the snow. If you need a reminder, spring officially begins in just 7 days on March 20th. Just go in there and pretend like it's not snowing. But
breathe in the smells and feel the humidity, and it will be summer in no time.
Mentally, you'll be thinking spring and summer. Well, in our next half hour, we're taking a closer look at the storm that's hitting across New England.
We'll take a look just outside Boston, where the snow is quickly piling up. Our total coverage continuing in just 2 minutes.
WMTW, Maine's total weather news coverage starts right now.
11:30 right now, taking a live look at Kittery as we're under a total weather alert. We're tracking today's nor'easter all morning long. And good morning, I'm Christina Frank.
Good morning, everybody. I'm David Charnes. It's Tuesday, March 13th. Right now, we're under a total weather alert. Maine's total weather meteorologist Ted McInerney watching this nor'easter move on in. Ted, you were watching this heavy band of snow move on shore, and it's now hitting more inland areas right now.
Yeah, and there's another one right behind it about to move on shore. So it's kind of a double whammy as far as the snow goes. And now you think about heavy snow, now add the wind to it too. So winds are coming in off the water, not off the water, they're coming in from the north. 52 miles an hour at the Isle of Shoals. Out in Casco Bay, 43-mile-an-hour wind gusts, getting very gusty up there, and still very breezy inland, so we could see some whiteout conditions. Look at this heavy snow band pushing into Augusta, Lewiston, Auburn, into Bridgeton as well, interior Cumberland and York counties. But the next snow band is about to come on shore again at Old Orchard Beach and Biddeford Saco, heading back toward the mid-coast, toward Booth Bay, back toward Rockland. You're in on that snow too. Let's go in for a close look on our total storm tracker. Heavy snow just north of Sanford. Moderate snow from Cape Nettic to Wells to Ogunquit to Biddeford, and here in the Portland area. Cape Elizabeth, you're about to get that heavy snow, as well as South Portland. Heavy snow in Cumberland Center, Gorham, Westbrook, Windham. Heading up the turnpike to Lewiston, Auburn, you're just getting started on this heavy snow band. Augusta, as well as Waterville, and into Vassalboro. Brunswick, you just had a heavy snow band, but you're going to get another one here pretty shortly. Heavy snow pushing toward Newport and Skowhegan and Farmington again. The mountains, you are in on this as well. The winds right now gusting to 33 miles an hour in Portland. You could see a little bit less to the north, but again, this is starting to pick up here. Once we get to 35 miles an hour or greater, we're going to start to see the blizzard conditions getting in here, especially with a quarter-mile visibility already with near whiteout conditions already now with it. So we have a blizzard warning in effect for the coastline until 2 a.m. and we have a winter storm warning for the rest of us until Wednesday at 8 a.m. And we also do have a coastal flood advisory until Wednesday at midnight. And again, that's because we do still have some beach erosion happening, even at astronomical low tides happening at this hour and into the evening hours as well. Let's go out to Paul Merrill. He's in Brunswick. Paul, the conditions look pretty bad, but the road, you can see a little bit of it.
Yeah, in fact, we just had a plow come down this side street, so you can see a little bit of pavement now, but before it was completely covered with snow. It's coming down at a pretty good clip, and it's a little bit windy. You can see some of the trees moving up there, some of those big trees moving around as the wind whips around. And we've got the snow coming down kind of at a 45-degree angle, sometimes just coming horizontal, but it's windy. The snow's coming down fast. There's big flakes. They are wet, fat flakes. Let's take you out to, let's walk out to Pleasant Street here, where you can see we're down to pavement. Cars are making their way okay down the main drag, but it's pretty slushy and pretty messy. You probably don't want to be out here if you don't have to be. We're going to move around, probably go over to Main Street, maybe go down to the coastline, explore, see what we see for a little while, and check back in with you later. Right now, we're going to send it down to Tyler. He's in Kittery. Hey, Tyler.
Hey there, Paul. Good morning. Yeah, definitely seeing conditions deteriorating here in southern Maine as well, along the coastal part of York County, right here in Kittery along Route 1. I think you may be able to see the guy walking down the edge of the road there here on Route 1. Pretty dangerous to be doing that today, actually, because one, I mean, vehicles, you're talking about the snow on the road, that slippery travel, but also hard for them to see right now with the snow coming down as it is. So definitely be mindful of that, not just driving, but also walking, especially right on the shoulder of the road there. Coming back a little bit closer here, you can see the road just to my left here, again, snow covered right now. Plows have been doing a pretty decent job trying to get out and stay ahead of this storm system, but the snow at this point just coming down at too fast of a clip. Already about 3 inches on the ground here in Kittery and more piling up. Also, a quick note, the wind here as well, a big factor. It was really blowing and gusting this morning before the snow even started. Now that snow really coming down sideways, and you can see here a few cars out and about, but generally speaking, pretty quiet as far as travel goes. That, of course, good news. A lot of folks taking the precautions we've been talking about pretty seriously. That's a check on things here in York County. We'll bump it up to Cumberland County now. Kathleen Jordan is up there in Portland. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning to you, Tyler. We are seeing very similar conditions here in Portland. We are along Commercial Street. We've been out here for a little bit now. The snow started at 9, but as you can see, it has just really taken hold. That snow, as you were mentioning, accumulating pretty fast here. The wind not helping conditions. Visibility is something we've been talking about all morning long. We have seen some people driving along here. Here's a plow truck. We've seen them out here too, doing as much as they can. But of course, as this continues to fall, it's going to be pretty hard work for them. And even though the roads are pretty slick and people are able to move, again, that visibility, you may be out there, but seeing is not going to be an easy thing. So if you are out and about, certainly be careful. If you're at home, try to stay home. And another thing we were talking about, this is light and fluffy snow, so it is easy to clean up, but once it hits the pavement, it's really slick. So if you're walking, you got to be careful of that too. We're also dealing with snow that's already been on the ground from last week's storm. So there are a lot of factors here that you should be careful of. I think as Ted said it best, we are now in the snow zone. I'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
We are, and we've thrown you outside there in the snow zone. Kathleen, thank you. Maine State Police reminding Mainers, take it slow if you do have to go out as blizzard conditions are possible. Police tell us they've already responded to several slide-offs involving people just getting off the highway, especially on the turnpike, on an exit too fast. And we've just received word that River Road in Wyndham is closed because of a crash. This is happening between Al Weber Road and Mallison Falls Road.
And right now we're going to check back in with WMTW News 8's Jim Keithley. He's been riding around the state this morning. Jim, we talked to you about a half hour ago, so how are those roads looking right now?
Well, first off, did somebody say 7 days until spring? I'm having a deja vu of a horrible day last Wednesday, but enough about me. You want to hear about the roads. Here we go. So we're about a mile now from the York toll, so we may be passing right through them. Conditions, you can see the visibility is not good. And we really seem like we're the only people out on the road. I mean, there's a couple of tractor trailers over here, but otherwise it's 45 miles an hour, as of course is the condition and the speed limit in any storm. So really it's just slow going, and we've been in the middle lane here in the southbound lane, about ready to go through the York tolls, and then we'll swing it around. We'll head north and show you what that's like during our next half hour. But for now, we'll send it back to you.
And Jim, you're saying, of course, you kind of have that road all to yourself right now. Have you seen any cars in the ditch or slid off or anything like that?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, yes. We've counted 4 now. 4 vehicles off the road from South Portland to, again, we're right now in the York toll. So, but again, look around. There aren't very many cars on the road at all. So it almost appears that a good percentage of cars that are on the road are ending up on the side of the road. So I would stay clear, stay off the roads. We say it time and time again, but it really is the kind of storm where you do not want to go out. And here we're coming into the tolls, so we'll just keep it up. And
yeah, I sort of want to keep you up to see. I want to sort of see if the tolls are even busy, or if we can even see the tolls.
Yeah, you can barely see them without
Ted was saying we're at a quarter-mile
right.
visibility, so you can barely see anything. So, Jim, oh, there they are. All right, Jim, thank you, and we'll talk to you throughout the afternoon. All right, so taking a look now at conditions across New England, Josh Brogadier from our sister station, WCBB, is outside Boston, where the snow is picking up quickly.
Framingham, Massachusetts, about 15 miles west of Boston, and you can see the snow is certainly accumulating here, coming down at about an inch or so an hour. This is the kind of snow you can certainly start to shovel here at this point. It is a heavy, wet snow, but it is perfect for snowballs and snowmen. Behind me is Route 9, one of the major east-west roads in this part of Massachusetts. Pretty much desolate this morning. This is a Tuesday morning, and you know rush hour would certainly have this all stacked up on a normal day. So people are listening and getting off these roads so that the plow drivers can do what they're trying to do. This event, by the way, started as rain a few hours ago, turned to some sleet, and now it's an all-snow event that we expect to last throughout the day. In Framingham, Mass, Josh Brogadier. We'll send it to you guys.
All right, Josh, thank you. And down the East Coast, other states are trying to deal with this snow. In North Carolina, stretches of road now riddled with vehicles unable to drive on the slick surface. Officials responding to several crashes across that state. And in Kentucky, they're experiencing the same thick, wet snow, making it really difficult there for people to drive. They're just not used to it. Coming up for us this morning, local police having a message as snow piles up here across Maine. We'll check in with the deputy police chief in Auburn. Total coverage continuing in 2 minutes.
Here's meteorologist Ted McInerney, bringing you Maine's total weather and your exclusive 8-day forecast.
All right, we're on the road again, and we're looking from Jim Keithley's vantage point in the car down in Kittery. You can see the near whiteout conditions. You definitely can see the reduced visibility. You can clearly see the truck in front of him, but the tractor trailer ahead of it, the oncoming car, starting to become a little bit hard to see, especially at the signs. But as we take a look at the radar from that area, you can really see where the heavy snow is moving right back inland. In fact, when I set this radar view, there wasn't this heavy snow band. This is how fast it's moving ashore right now. We're looking at heavy snow from Kittery up to York, up to Agunquit at this hour, Cape Netiquette on the heavy snow as well in York. As I widen it all out, the inland areas, you're looking at this 1 to 3 inch an hour snow band pushing through Lewiston, Auburn, into Augusta, back into Bridgeton. You're getting ready for it. Freiburg, you're getting ready for it too. But behind that, look at this 1-2 punch. Another round of heavy snow is moving ashore in the mid-coast, Portland, and in southern Maine. In the mountains, you're getting snow too at this hour. So we just showed you what was happening up and down Biddeford, Saco. You're in on it. Some light snow right now in Portland, but don't think it's going to last long, because look at this. That heavy snow band is just off the Portland headlight right now. Heavy snow in Windham, North Windham up through Raymond as well. Lewiston, Auburn, heading back to Sabattis, Litchfield, Bowdoin, back toward Dresden, as well as Augusta, Hollowell, all in on that heavy snow. Brunswick, you're in some light snow right now, but that will pick up in the next half hour or so. We're looking at heavy snow in Waterville, and that's tracking towards Skowhegan. Out at Higgins Beach in Scarborough, we're looking right into that heavy snow band. You could look, it looks like nighttime out there. That's how dark the sky is. Temperatures right now are coming in the upper 20s, but with the winds coming in from the north, sustained at 18 miles an hour in Portland, it makes it feel like it's 15, so it's cold out. It's snowing, it's windy, it's blustery out there, and again, the winds are gusting up to 33 miles an hour. The coastal reports, the Isle of Shoals has been sustained above 50, I shouldn't say sustained, has sustained a wind gust over 52 miles an hour since 5 a.m. this morning, so it's windy out there. Matinicus Rock, 54 miles an hour, and 43 miles an hour out the Casco Bay buoy off the coast of Cape Elizabeth. Blizzard warning for the entire Maine coastline until 2 a.m. Stay off the roads if you don't have to. I know police, fire, we thank you for going out in these conditions, and as well as the public works, medical community too. Make sure you have a blanket, a shovel, a charged cell phone, a half a tank of gas, and let somebody know on the other end of your route what route you're taking to get there and what time you plan to get there. Winter storm warning remains in effect until 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. 12 to 18 inches of snow expected with this storm all the way up to the mountains. The mountains are getting a lot of snow right now. I think you're trending toward that 14-inch mark. An isolated area could get 20 inches or more of snow. The wind's a big story on the coastline. 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, maybe even 60 as you go down east and toward the mid-coast. Portland 40 to 50, again, that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As we head into the overnight, the winds do die down. So tomorrow it will be snowing in the morning, affecting your commute, but we won't be dealing with the winds that we are right now. Hour by hour, again, we had that snow come in right on time, and now that snow is picking up in intensity, and it will continue to bring in those snow bands, one after the other, and depending on when those bands line up, that's where the heavy snow accumulations will be, and that's where the visibilities will be reduced, and we will have snow all the way through Wednesday morning. So a quick check of that 8-day forecast. We're going to have light snow tomorrow afternoon scattered about the area. Flurries, some clouds on Thursday. Friday, 41 with some sunshine. St. Patrick's Day, a sign of spring, right? We have some cool conditions, but at least mostly sunny, perfect for the parade. And then, as Jim Keithley liked to say, a week from today, the first day of spring, and I even have a tulip on there for you.
It's hard to believe, but we'll have to have a spring frame of mind to just get us through this, because this is going to be a long storm for us today.
It's a beast, and it's just relentless.
Ugh.
It is.
All right.
It is. All right. Well, Auburn Deputy Police Chief Jason Moen joining us on the phone right now. Deputy Chief Moen, good morning. And what are conditions like in Auburn?
Good morning, David. Conditions in Auburn, they are starting to deteriorate. We've seen an uptick in the snow in the last hour and a half. Our public services has been out treating the roads, trying to get ready for the snow. But we're starting to see the snow come down fairly heavy now. We're starting to see some traffic accidents trickle in. I think the message we want to get out to people is, especially during your commute, is to take your time. and plan for the snow. Plan on stopping in a decent distance, and just be careful.
And we heard from Maine Department of Transportation, also, our own meteorologist Ted McInerney. We've been telling people for hours, just really stay off the roads. Don't travel if you do not need to. Have you seen a lot of people in Auburn? Are they kind of taking that advice?
Right now, traffic is fairly steady. I'm hoping people are trying to get to where they need to be to buckle down for the storm. And again, we would urge all people to stay off the roads if absolutely necessary. We have a parking ban that's going into effect here shortly. That'll be through midnight tomorrow night. That'll give our Public Works crews a chance to really get the streets cleaned up and ready for travel on Thursday. So yeah, people really need to be thinking about getting off the road and getting in for the night.
I know the roads, they can be dicey all across, across the area. Are there any certain spots that you would want to tell people, to be extra careful about in storms that you kind of see problems with?
Well, our Garf Hill area, which is a steep part of the city, we traditionally have problems with that hill, but pretty much throughout the city, the Public Works people are doing a great job with the roads, so I would just urge everybody to be careful.
All right, Auburn Deputy Police Chief Jason Moen, thanks so much. We're seeing that heavy band of snow move into the Twin Cities areas right now, so your crew's definitely going to be busy. Stay off the road there. If you'd like to help out the Total Weather team during storms like today, you can become a Total Weather spotter. You'll learn how to take weather readings, and you'll even have the chance to report conditions right where you are on air during the storms. You can find the Weather Spotter sign-up form under the Contact Us section of WMTW.com. Happening now, police in Seabrook, New Hampshire, asking neighbors to shelter in place as a standoff continues there. This is happening on Walton Road. That road blocked off between the bridge and Route 1. There was a report of a suspect barricaded inside. Within the last hour and a half, our sister station WMUR reported 2 separate women were taken out of the area by police. No word right now on what triggered this standoff.
Happening now, police are looking for a man accused of robbing a Rite Aid pharmacy in Caribou. Officials say it happened Monday morning, but they have not said what was taken. No one was hurt. If you recognize this man right here, call police.
The J Village Water District issuing a boil water order until further notice because of a break in a water main. All customers in the J Village Water District north of the subway who lost water need to boil it before you drink it or use it. The district will make an announcement when customers can stop boiling that water.
Well, coming up a little bit later, local ski resorts are definitely embracing this storm.
We'll show you how you can cash in. It's new and coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, good morning, everyone. We're about to approach the noon hour here, and we will continue to stay on the air because a blizzard warning is a life-threatening situation, and that's why we give you Maine's total weather coverage. Let's go through what a blizzard warning protocol is as we take a look at it. It's not based on the snow coming down, but it can be. It can be blowing or drifting snow. So winds have to be 35 miles an hour or greater with visibility a quarter mile or less for 3 consecutive hours or more, and that's what gives you the whiteout conditions. Even 20 minutes of a whiteout could have you off the road and stranded, and if you're stuck in your car for 5 hours without a charged cell phone, you're going to be stuck there. So you want to make sure you have a blanket, a shovel to get your car out, and again, that charged cell phone or a half tank of gas to keep you warm there. But again, that's why we want you off the road. But we know that there's some that have to get home, have to get to work, so make sure you take it slow. And again, you just got to follow the tracks. That's the best way to look at it. Strong winds also with the storm may cause some power outages. So at home, keep those cell phones charged, guys.
All right, Ted, great tips. And if you don't love it, well, some people are. Maine's ski resorts definitely celebrating another snowstorm by offering some great deals.
Over at Lost Valley in Auburn, the slopes are open today from noon in about 4 minutes to 6 tonight. And celebrating Auburn's Snow Day, lift tickets will be $25. Sunday River also offering a deal today. They're holding a lift ticket sale until tomorrow at midnight. You can get a one-day lift ticket for $49 or 2-day tickets starting at $99. They can be used to ski through early April, including on weekends. Teenagers and junior tickets start at $39.
I think I can hear the snow lovers cheering.
Oh yeah,
from
a lot of people
So
enjoying it today. We always talk about what Mother Nature gave us, and now we can play with Mother Nature gave us with that.
But we're looking, it's all come down right now. We'll play in it later, but for now, definitely stay at home if you can. Our coverage continues as we're doing a check of those road conditions. This is a live look. It's just really messy out there, as we've been talking about. Crews are trying to keep up with the storm. Maine Department of Transportation says as soon as the crews hit the same spot after an hour, it's covered in 1 to 2 inches of snow. So definitely take it slow out there. Stay off the roads if you can.
Maine State Police saying that this is the most difficult point in the storm. We're seeing some snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches. And as Ted mentioned, even though we're seeing these nearly whiteout conditions, this isn't an official blizzard. It takes 3 hours of visibility under a quarter mile and wind gusts of up to past 35 miles per hour for that. Our total coverage continues next with Tracy and Steve at noon. We'll see you tomorrow morning, everybody. Stay safe.